Hey everybody. Hey Monk. Let's start off by playing the track. The best part is, I have no idea what that last part sounds like that we added near the end. I don't remember it, so it's gonna be fun to hear it again. Hi everybody. Thanks for saying hello. Alright, so that's all we have so far. It might be enough. I haven't like decided whether I want it to end there or not. But hey, welcome everybody. This is a lot of you probably knew because I'm doing a different time slot. This is my creative live stream in which I just produce music and I answer questions and sort of tell you guys my creative process as I'm doing it. This particular project I started on the live stream and I've just been working on it for the last 4 sessions. This is the 5th one. There's no particular goal for this track and no project that it's attached to. I just started off with like a couple of ideas, being like a chord progression, the tempo, and having like a swing beat. That was like the start of it, and I just sort of built from there. And I'm also testing out using Omnisphere, which is a synth sample library instrument that I got recently. So that's like the start of it. And then everything else just grew out of that. And it's been really fun. And as you can tell, we've been having a good time with it. And I'm sort of like been making it less about like a melodic story and more just like a kind of having a good groove. And yeah, last session we ended up adding a lot. And it was mostly just rearranging elements that were already there from previous sessions. So everything from like here on, starting at right here, was added last session. And remember, you can always go to YouTube and check out the previous sessions. I upload them to YouTube almost immediately after doing a broadcast. So within an hour or so, you can usually watch the latest episode on YouTube. Anyway, feel free to ask questions. I will answer whatever, no matter how basic the question seems to you. There are no dumb questions. I'll answer whatever. And if you want me to clarify on something, or if I'm doing something that doesn't seem to make sense, feel free to ask that in the chat. And I will totally answer. I've had a lot of people talk about, while I was making this song, a lot of people talked about it seemed like it was switching genres a lot, and there were a lot of different genres, and they liked it. And I wanted to talk about that, how that's sort of like a style choice almost of mine. So I used to listen in the 90s. I listened to a ambient electronic artist named William Orbit, and William Orbit's been active since the 80s, and he still does. He still releases albums. He recently released his latest album on SoundCloud for free, I think. But anyway, he sort of like has no predisposition to like release to make music on particular genres. He doesn't care about genre. And so like he'll release an album where like one song will sound like a mariachi song, and then the next sound will be like a creepy ambient piece, and then he'll like mix stuff in. He'll like have one track that'll have multiple genres in it, and he just doesn't care. He's normally a music producer. He used to produce for Madonna and Blur and a lot of 90s stuff. And his own stuff is really eclectic. And that, when I was listening to that in the 90s, it sort of taught me to be like, you really shouldn't care about genre and just make cool music instead. And don't be afraid to like mix ideas and genres together. And so that's always sort of been like, I've always taken that to heart. And that's why like a lot of my albums like Curious Merchandise and Chromatic T-Rex have a lot of strange like crossovers in genres. Definitely a direct influence from William Orbit. Alright, so this is supposed to be a polish pass for today, but I'm gonna see if we can't add some more stuff to this track. Since we don't have any particular goal for it, why not just experiment and see what else we can do. So I'm gonna start from here, and I'll start a little bit further back so you can hear the build up to it. Let's listen to it some more, see if we can't like figure out something else we can add. Yeah, I kind of want to just keep going. Sfax has a question. Do you find it hard to keep songs interesting when you can't change genres much, like for a game soundtrack? Usually I try to have it change as much as possible within a game soundtrack, too. Although that's not necessarily always possible. But if you listen to something like, say, my latest soundtrack, Dead Secret, it changes genres a lot, even within a very short, it's only like a 30-minute soundtrack, but it changes genre a lot within that. So I may have plenty of opportunities to keep it interesting anyway. Okay, I just remembered I had this melody here that I dragged over from earlier in the track, and let's see if it sounds interesting. Coming after this one. This melody here is... Oh yeah, I remember now. I don't know if it's gonna... Don't know if it's gonna sound that great. Let's try it anyway. Well, it sounds a little weird transitioning from this melody to this melody. Like they don't quite fit next to each other, but if a different instrument played this melody here, it might sound interesting. So we got tons of other instruments here, so we have this. So what if we just take this and drag it down here and then listen to it? Oh, we've got instrument is broken. Hey, stop that. There we go. Fixed it. All right, let's see this. It's a little hard to hear. Maybe we can turn it up, or we can try other... What's this? Oh, yeah, it's... Oh, yeah, that's the... what else we got? Oh, yeah. Let's move it down there, see what that's like. This one. It's actually kind of cool, although you can't hear it that well. Maybe, let's try, I'm going to try moving it down one octave. Yeah, you really can't hear it. What if we did 2? So I'm going to just double it and do this. Or just... kind of cool. I like that a lot, actually. Now, we also had a good thing going over here. Way back here. There was sort of like a bridge. Oh, that's not it. Oh yeah, it comes up right here. So it's like, do we want to try this bridge thing again? I'm interested in adding that bridge, but I don't know if I don't know if it would really work to do it a second time. I don't know if I want to reuse that. So let's just listen to this. Maybe we can... Oh, we also have this, which is the chords. That. What does this part sound like? What's this? Oh right, that's the rise. I need to rise. Need to label that, and let's color it. That's good. Nakazoto asks, do you ever find yourself getting the music equivalent of feature creep, where you keep adding new and interesting bits and then end up with a song that's 15 minutes long? I guess a better question would be, how do you know when and how to finish a song? That's a good question. I do have feature creep, but it's usually piling too many instruments up all on top of each other, rather than spreading it out over a long period of time. Usually I have a hard time making my songs very long. I pack all the ideas into a very dense space, and then I'm like, oh, the song's only 2 minutes. And I have a hard time stretching it out. And how do you know how and when to finish a song is always really difficult. I usually just sort of decide, like, oh, this is a good length, and I think I've sort of said everything I wanted to say with the song. Once I've decided that, I'm like, well, I think it can end. Or there's like, I have nothing else to say. Nothing else to say with the ideas that I started with. And I feel kind of like I'm getting there with this song. I don't think I could add anything without suddenly changing the whole feel of it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. We could do that, and I'm not entirely opposed to it. But I also feel like this has been satisfying where it is, and it doesn't necessarily need to go anywhere else. What is this? We have a bunch of other rejected instruments down here in this folder. Oh yeah, don't like that. And that's a lot of drum tracks. There's an omnisphere that we didn't even use. Oh, it's just rises. All right, get rid of that. Yeah, it sounds better down there. Can't really hear it that well. Maybe if we turn it up a bit, like that. we've really only used this for one thing. What if we did... Turn it way down. This might be ridiculous. Whoops. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So what I'm trying to do is I want to have like a kind of a cool fade out, but not just a fade out, and I'll show you guys in a minute what I mean, but it'll be an more interesting fade out than what you're used to. Okay, Nakasoto has some questions. You mentioned that when you run out of things to say, that's a good time to finish. Could you elaborate on the things to say that part? With music that's entirely instrumental, how do you decide on a message to convey? Is it truly a message that you're telling, or is it more of a feeling you wish to evoke out of the listener? I would say it's usually more of a feeling I wish to evoke out of the listener. Deciding on a message to convey is dependent on the project. If it's a game soundtrack, obviously you have a very clear message, or at least a very clear feeling that you want to evoke. And the length of the song has to do with like how much the song is going to be played. If the song's going to be played a lot, you might want to make it a longer track so that it doesn't get, if it's like looping a lot, you want a longer track with more variety so that it doesn't get annoying. In the case of this track, I don't have anything in particular. I sort of decided midway through that it seemed like it was just like, it seemed like it was more about having a cool groove than like having a particular like feeling to evoke. It's on a minor scale, a C minor. So that gives it kind of a mysterious, melancholy feel already. Just by playing the scale, you can tell, right? You can just be like. So. It also, that main chord progression that comes in midway through the song is all minor chords. So there's definitely a melancholy feeling to it and somewhat mysterious, and it's kind of a good vibe to have. So we were just kind of rolling with that in this particular song. Okay, so from here, we're going to have it fade out. And we're going to do a kind of a special fade out. We're going to add some effects, a couple of effects, and have them slowly come in. 2 effects over the entire mix. So we're actually going to have a track just for... where's that? Yeah, here we go. Read, write. So here, this bottom track here, oh, you guys can't see it, huh? Because my picture's, hang on, let me move my picture here. Camera. Here we go. So here, you can see that this is my stereo out. This is the entire mix. And now I can automate and I can add effects. And I'm going to do that right around here. So we open up this. We're going to have two effects here. We're going to have a filter and a reverb. So first of all, we're going to automate when these things even turn on. So we're going to have a lot of these automations here. So let me see here. Insert, filter, bypass. So for most of the song, it's going to bypass this filter. We're going to start right here, I think. Right there. So then I add another automation. And this is going to bypass the reverb for most of the song. So now that we have those, now we're going to add a position filter automation for the filter, and then we're going to have a mix for the reverb. Okay, so it's going to be a little confusing. I'm going to hide the bypass ones since we don't need to work with those anymore. And we're going to enlarge these so we can see them better. So we're going to start out with a 0 mix for the reverb, and we're going to start at a neutral position, which is the middle, for the filter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start using a high pass filter. So it's going to sweep away the lower frequencies very slowly until you only have high frequencies. So basically we're going to do this to about here, which is where the song kind of ends. Oops. Let's get rid of these. We'll mute these notes since the end of the song is right here. Yeah. And then as we do that, we're going to increase the reverb. Now we got to figure out what kind of reverb we want first, though. So we're going to do French Stone Chapel is always a good one. And we're just going to increase the mix of that. This will all make sense in a minute. Until it's 100%. So we're just doing a basic line here. We'll fancy it up if we need to. So that's a kind of a more fancy fade out, but I'm not sure if I like it too much yet. So we're going to put more reverb right in the beginning. That's one thing it needs. Oh yeah, we already got volume up here. So, you know, now I've done... Actually, so we can also try doing a high-pass filter and doing this instead and seeing how that sounds. That might be kind of cool. We're also going to fade out. Maybe just doing a proper fade out will help. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, let's go back and listen to the whole thing. Especially, there's probably a lot of people who haven't heard the whole thing. So let's go back and listen to from beginning to end. Alright, this is in pretty good shape, I'd say. What can we do now? We should probably name some of these tracks. And color them. Green looks cool. What is this? Oh, right, groove bias. Thanks, Fax. Thanks, guys. It's always good to name your tracks so that if you go back later and it's broken, you'll still know what instrument you were using. Like, you know, I did FTL mostly in 2011 and 2012, and then years later, when I wanted to go back and try to like grab instruments and such that I used to make Deep Space Deluxe. Dawn Attack. You guys probably remember Deep Space Deluxe. That was a recent album. I was using a lot of FTL sounds in it because it was supposed to be sort of like an informal FTL album. Anyway, so I went back to the old tracks, and a lot of them were like broken because I made them on a different computer with different software, and they no longer pointed to the right instruments. If I hadn't named the tracks, I wouldn't have been able to remember like what instrument, what part went to like which synthesizer. So now when I name a track, I name what the software is, in this case like Omnisphere, and then the name of the instrument. So that when I go back, even if it's not pointing to the right thing, I can still figure out what it was. Hey, Bob the Man. Bob the Man asks, how long have you been streaming for in general? So in general, I've been streaming for about a year. But most of that time was spent streaming, just playing games with friends of mine. I think in January I started doing creative live streams. I finally got the setup right so I could actually broadcast Cubase. So for a few months. And I'm trying out a new time slot. Normally I do Saturday at 2 p.m. my time, which is Pacific time. I'm in California. But I'm trying to do a different time slot, which is Tuesday at 9 a.m. my time, to see, you know, try to reach different people, because I know there's a lot of people in Europe who, for them, 2 p.m. on a Saturday is too late. It's much faster than, it's much later than they can get to for their time. So I thought it'd be nice to do a different time to reach you guys. Why Maxie asks, are these creations to buy? Not yet, but eventually there will be a live stream album of just like original creations that I did for the live stream. But I'm not sure when it's coming or when it'll be ready. But yeah, they'll be available to buy at some point. I mean, we could put this in too, here at the where it starts to fade out. Whoop, hang on. Or we can just zoom out and then put it in here. Yeah, I like that, adding that in. We could even do like the drum part. Nah, it sounds weird. Asha Tides. Hi, Asha Tides. Asha Tides? I missed the I there. Hello. Do you ever get sick of talking about FTL to people? Kind of like how bands get asked about their greatest hit of all time. Most of the time I don't. I don't mind getting questions about FTL. The thing that bothers me is that I have a hard time getting fans interested in music other than FTL. I don't mind talking about FTL, but it's tough when you make a lot of other albums and a lot of other games soundtracks, and it's hard to get the FTL fans to migrate to your new stuff. That can get frustrating at times. Yeah, it sounds good. I like this fade out better. Alright, so the next thing we can do is like mixing. And one way to do mixing is you can look at the overall mix and we can watch the spectrum analyzer and see if there's any frequencies that we're hearing too much of. If it gets too high or it's too constantly high, then we can think about turning those frequencies down a bit in the mix. So far, this is looking like a decent mix. Like right now, it's supposed to have the kind of heavy emphasis on bass. Although I don't know, maybe we could turn this down. Whoops, I didn't really want to do that. Move this aside for a second. Nah, I still like it. It looks okay. This might be problematic right here. That's a lot of very low frequencies. Alright, so we see that the bass is kind of high there. So I'm going to go and start listening to all of the bass tracks and seeing which ones are contributing to that. So it might be this. Oh, it's definitely this. It sounds pretty cool though, so I don't necessarily want to hurt it too much. But it is probably a little too much. So I'm putting on a compressor for the lower frequencies to see if that helps. So this compressor will basically imagine it as like a ceiling. Whenever the volume of a particular frequency gets too high, it kind of gently pushes it down, so that it never gets too loud. So I'm trying to experiment on the very lowest frequencies on this thing. And you can see already we've kind of turned this down a little bit. This curve is not where it was before, which is up here. So you can see the difference of it. And we're not really affecting the sound too much. But we're not going to have those like really, really like unsettling deep bass tones. So that might help. So far, it's looking pretty healthy. Still have this like a lot of heavy bass here, but it's not too bad. If you can see the filter like eliminating lower frequencies here as they get, like, these get lower and lower. Nakazoto asks, have you ever had any copyright problems? For example, someone using your music in a video or game without attribution or permission. Yeah, I mean, people use my music in their YouTube videos all the time, and there's not really much I can do about it. And nor do I have, like the desire to, like, go and try to enforce copyright on every, like, misattributed or, like, used without permission piece. I just don't have the time. Yeah, weirdly, I found that I was on IMDb before I even worked on a film, because someone did, like, a short film that wasn't very good and used my music without my permission, although they did attribute me and register my name in IMDb, which is really weird. They never asked me about it. I think that's what Monk of Destiny has linked to. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, some weird short film called The Last Shrine that used my music. I don't know why they chose to use it without asking me and then registering my name. It's kind of a weird thing. But yeah, there it is. But yeah, it's all over, like, my tracks are all over in people's YouTube videos and stuff, and it's like, I don't know, you're not supposed to do that, but I can't really, like, I don't have a team of lawyers to go around, like, telling people to stop doing it, so I don't really do much about it. You know, I really like this melody too, and we only used it this one time. But maybe it's okay that we only used it once. Oh yeah, so that's right, Monk of Destiny brought it up that there have been multiple people who just put the FTL soundtrack into a mod for Stellaris and then distribute that for free, which is definitely illegal. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to actually asking them to take it down, because I've been too busy. So yeah, there are issues. There are always going to be issues on the internet. Any created work is going to get taken and used for something. And there's not much a creator can do about it. Okay, so since we already have a good mix, the other thing is, let's see if we can add any, I don't know, just considering adding other flourishes to the track as we go. Like, I think the beginning sounds pretty good, but is there anything we could add to it, is what I'm wondering. I don't really know. I kind of want to do a rise right here, but a quick one. So I'm going to add another rise with rev. So we've opened up contact, and then whoops, and then rev is an instrument within contact. And then we do half bar. Now obviously it doesn't need to be this loud. We're going to turn that down. Kind of like that. That one. Maybe we'll make it a little bit higher too. Yeah, maybe we'll just stick with the C. Okay, hang on. That is kind of cool. Hang on. Yeah, let's do something like that. Wrong thing. Here we go. Right? Or am I doing this wrong? Where did I put this? Oh yeah. This is what we want. Still really loud. Turn it down a bit. Oh, hey, thanks Nakazoda for coming by. I do this every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I want to keep doing extra days, but I haven't really decided whether I can keep it up every week or not. But anyway, it's definitely every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, and possibly Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. But yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll hopefully see you soon in the chat. Let's just try the sort of basic cymbal rev. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Turn it up a little more simple. Yeah, it's cool. Might even do... Let's go back here. Bring it up a few. Yeah, kind of like its default. Hey, Rough Ride. Should we do another rise here? Let's try this little short rise that we just made and put it here. It's kind of cool, actually, yeah. Maybe a little louder, though. Turn up a little. I'm not even... Kind of like that one too. What if we change this to this one? Hello, Lyso TV. This is kind of cool. What does it sound like over here? It's like kind of neat, yeah. Maybe it needs to be a little louder there too. Whoops, what am I doing here? That's kind of cool, actually, yeah. I like it. We can actually turn this off now, because they're both roughly the same. Monk of Destiny has a question. Not to stick focus too heavily on the copyright issue, have you considered making original pieces of music that people could potentially use freely, given that they follow any guidelines you set for use? That's basically what Chromatic T-Rex is. Chromatic T-Rex is, one, a free album, and two, I basically say you can use it whatever you want as long as you know, give attribution. But no, I've never really considered making something specifically to give away freely. Mainly because, like, I'm too busy doing soundtracks and other projects. I don't have time to do other things. If I had a lot of time on my hands, I might be able to consider doing that kind of thing. I want to listen to this Rise again. Actually, I got an idea. Right here, we have a good transition, right? might be kind of cool. I have this thing that I've used a lot, especially in Frank and John, which is not out yet, but that I call a noise splash. I don't know if this will work or not. It's this wonderful sound, like that. We can just like drop one in. Where is that? There it is. Maybe I just need to perform it. I don't know why it's having a rough time with... Yeah, it must just be the really short time need to... Alright. Yeah, look at that. It's like a perfect line across the frequency spectrum. It's really cool to see that. We could do this in multiple places too, like here. Yeah, probably better over here. Maybe not. Let's try it over here. I like that transition. It doesn't need anything additional, I think. We got some questions. Yeah, I could consider doing the album to be like freely available, or not freely available, but release the album and then say like you can use it in your works as long as you attribute. I don't really know though. Haven't really given it much thought right now. It's not really something I think about very often, to be honest. Mostly my focus is on making cool music and making my soundtracks, and I haven't really thought about allowing use. Parallax, hi Parallax, asks, have you ever thought about creating visualizations to go with the music? I mean, I've talked with some people about it, but it's not really, again, it's not really high on my priority list. I really want to use Paranomical though, because Paranomical looks awesome. If I do end up doing, or when when I do end up doing a live show, I want to do, and I have like, if I have visualizations available, I will definitely use Paranomical because it's pretty awesome. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you should look it up. It's pretty cool. Monk asks, Frankenjohn is actually something we don't often ask about. What's going on with it these days? Not much, really. It's kind of in limbo. I know they're updating it once in a while, but the development on it is going very slow. The developers can only work on it in their spare time. Like, they all have like full-time jobs outside of making Frankenjohn, so the game is it's just going real slow. So I haven't really made anything for it in a long time, which is too bad because one, the game is pretty fun, and two, the music I made is like I'm really digging it. I'm very excited about it, and it's too bad that this game is taking forever to make. But you know, they're working on it. But it's definitely, like, for me, it's like a back burner project. I'm not like actively working on it right now. Alright, let's go back and listen to that noise splash again. I'm still not 100% convinced that I like it. Not totally in love with it. I like it there. I'm gonna keep it there, but I don't think I'm gonna use it in its original intended spot. I like that there. Let's add some more energy to it. See, let's. I just put that in there, but with no context. Let's listen to it, and you can hear the difference between having it there and not having it there. This is just a cymbal crash, so. Actually, it works pretty well as it is. I think I was saying I liked it as it is. It's kind of cool to have it just like cut off like that. But then, here, listen to it with it. It kind of works either way. I'm not really sure what to do. Don't know. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards the cymbal. Sorry, Monk, I'm not working on System Shock 3. I'm adding a cymbal crash right here. Hopefully I'll be able to talk about the secret project in like June, July, sometime in the summer. I think that's when we're announcing it. I'm not really sure. I wish I could tell you more about it because it's pretty cool. But then, once we announce it, I can actually start working on it on the live streams too, so you guys can see it. And that would be cool. Yeah, that's nice. So I just added a rise there. I think we're basically where we want to be. Let's go back and listen to the whole thing from start to finish. And I'll answer more questions. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. And then I think we'll wrap it up because there's not really much to add to this track. So I think we're pretty much done. All right, here we go. We're going to listen to it start to finish. All right. I'd say that came out pretty well. Monk of Destiny's got a question. On a completely unrelated note, are you still in a waiting phase in regard to the Hyperlight Drifters remix? And if yes, is there a chance you'd broadcast the remixing process on the track you end up with? I just talked to Alex Preston in LA last week, and he said that I'd be hearing about it very soon. So yeah, it's happening. It's just like everything, kind of slow. But yeah, doing the remix live on the live stream would be really cool. We'll see. I would love to do something like that. I think it would be really fun. So yeah, we should definitely do something like that. Because it would be like a kind of a unique angle. I don't do a lot of remixes, as you guys know. I did one remix for OC Remix, for Metroid Prime, and I did a remix for Fez, but that's it. That's pretty much all I did. I also worked on, I have this like version of a Chrono Trigger remix that I've been working on for about 8 years. And it's gone very slowly. But it'd be kind of fun. Maybe I should resurrect that thing and work on it again. It's a remix of the End of Time music, and I did a one version of it, I don't know, 8 years ago, and I submitted it to OC Remix, and it was rejected. With good reason. It was pretty terrible. But I've worked on it and continually like changed it and redone it from the ground up. Multiple times, but I was never really satisfied with it, so it's just kind of languished for years and years. But it might be cool to like resurrect it and work on it on the live stream sometime. I will consider doing that next. X System has a noob question, or so he claims. Is this track done and ready to be rendered, or is there still mastering mixing phase ahead? There is a mastering phase. And I've also, now that I've listened to the whole thing, I feel like I want to do more stereo imaging. I want to move some stuff left and right. Everything's kind of like really center biased, and I want to have more stereo. So I may just do a little bit of stereo mixing on my own and then do mastering. So, but the mastering thing, we've got a couple other tracks that we've done for live stream originals as well. Cinematic Trance and I don't remember the name of the other thing. But I'm gonna do a bunch of tracks all at once, and we're gonna do a mastering pass on the live stream so you guys can see the mastering process. So yeah, that's coming up. That'll be cool. My mastering process is really simple. You may be disappointed to find that there's not a whole lot to it. But so yeah, that's not a noob question. That's a legitimate question. There will be a mastering process. Even though I'm done with the composition and I did some very basic mixing, we will do some more advanced stuff later. But yeah, that's sort of the plan for the future. So maybe do a Chrono Trigger remix, maybe do the Hyperlight Drifter remix, and we'll do a mixing and mastering show as well. But thanks everybody for joining. I'll be back on Saturday, and Joe and I will be playing more Dark Forces on Thursday. We will not be doing the Resident Evil live stream tonight. Unfortunately, I got other plans, and so I had to cancel. There may be fewer video game live streams on this channel in the future anyway. But yeah, definitely back on Saturday for more creative live stream. I'm not sure what we're going to work on, because we're pretty much done with this. So I want to start something. We'll either start something new, or I'll work on one of my game soundtracks like Skytorn or Darkside or something. So yeah, thank you everybody. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Ben Prunty. Follow this page, the Twitch stream, I mean. And tell your friends. Whenever I tweet about this live stream, retweets are appreciated. So yeah. Please tell everybody. And I will see you guys on Saturday, hopefully. See you then. Bye, everybody.